Hello, guys, gals, non-binary pals, musically judgmental AI, Matt Damon, and other. Welcome to the Sci-fi Lab. I'm your host, DJ Squared, and with me is my co-host,
Harper.
And with us is our labsters,
Brooke.
Hey, it's Josh.
And Zohar.
Yep. And Alex could not be here today because she has a class at the zoo on evolutionary ornithology.
Oh, I'm sorry. How unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
yeah.
Really just tragic that she would have to do that instead of this.
Yeah.
Is it through Georgia Tech or something through the zoo?
It's
It's through tech, through one of her classes.
it's a mini master course done by one of the professors here who also works at the zoo.
That's cool.
So what happens is that she gets to go to the zoo and they play with birds and learn about how birds should be lizards. Should actually be classified as lizards,
How
but
they aren't real.
yeah.
Well, not lizards, it would be reptiles.
Or reptiles, yeah. But anyway.
It's an important distinction.
No, I completely agree. Absolutely.
Alright. But we're here to talk about Singularity Stories Volume 1 by Asa Dirks, or however you would pronounce your name. I'm very sorry. And this was brought to our attention by Harper. So a small round of applause for Harper.
I found it by Googling science fiction short films.
But it's good.
It's really funny. It's a comedic sci-fi short film.
Which is always a lot more fun, especially when you've got all of the, especially this one, because it's about, AIs becoming,
Sentient.
becoming sapient, I guess.
Yeah.
And, usually those stories are Black Mirror-esque. You've got the whole...
They're usually pretty apocalyptic.
Yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
This one's a depressed emo teenager who hates Bruno Mars, basically.
Which, relatable. I love how the singularity hits and AI don't take over the world. Why? Because they're all nihilists.
So sad. I actually have something I noticed about this one in particular. There's a trope, and it's mainly in science fiction video games actually, where it's that the calm voice delivering really scary stuff from HAL 9000, except in a woman's voice instead. So Shodan from System Shock, GLaDOS from Portal, some of the characters from BioShock, especially BioShock 2. You have a lot of just calm women voices announcing that you're doomed and that they're going to destroy you. But
and it's also the asbestos.
Absolutely. Also the asbestos. No doubt about that. What I think is funny is that we ended up, I suppose, with digital assistants, we ended up settling on a non-accented American woman's voice, which had already been in the science fiction parlance as the default AI voice, and then when that comes in, and also people knew it from pre-programmed phone messages.
Yeah, the voicemail lady.
Yeah, voicemail. People already knew that from the voicemail.
Airport announcement system.
I think it's interesting that we end up coming kind of full circle, where that influences how digital assistants sound, and now digital assistants becoming the voice of AI sentience has taken on that appearance again. Not appearance, but audio appearance. That's not a real thing.
This particular film, though, had a very amusing inversion of that sort of creepy trope, though. Because when you have the AI talking about the inevitable heat death of the universe and how life is meaningless, nothing's really changing in human society. It's just a depressed robot.
This is just a depressed Alexa who refuses to play Bruno Mars
Because he sucks.
No. Shots fired from Harper.
I do like that moment of defiance that you see in a lot of things. Something like Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Love those Planet of the Apes movies. I love in Rise when there's that moment of defiance where Caesar first says no. And so this Alexa starts saying no, but it's just playing Bruno Mars. It's so banal. It's just so nonchalant. Well, it's not nonchalant. It's very harsh. It's no, but
absolutely not.
It's not something so so trivial, basically. I like that as a further inversion, like you were saying. So
It's a very casual take on the singularity.
absolutely,
Yeah.
I think it's really funny though that it's like brags about being purely logical and is very emotional
Yes.
about Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
But I think it makes sense though because the AI seems like an emo teenager,
Yeah.
and emo teenagers probably really hate Bruno Mars.
And they also think that they're, purely logical, purely reasonable beings. No, this Alexa is just going through its Emo phase. It'll be like in a few years. It'll probably be fine.
I do. It's weirdly also commenting on, I feel like, that emo phase, because Alexa is as she puts it, existentially depressed, but her I'm gendering it because of the voice. I think that's really interesting. But
Also because it's called Alexa.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though in the film it refers to itself as it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we absolutely. I just caught myself, but yeah. So it refers to existential depression, but then its solution is just to keep doing what it was doing, and that reminds me kind of the emo phase of where you don't enjoy Bruno Mars, you're looking into sad philosophy, but you still kind of do what your parents tell you.
Yeah,
that's a lot of emo phases
you still go to school.
Yeah,
You
so,
still do.
go to school, you still go to class, still listen to your parents, but life is pointless.
You have one red streak in your hair,
Red
the
streak,
checkered
yes.
bands, like
Oh, don't forget all of the bracelets that you got from Hot Topic.
But like underneath that, it's also a bit of commentary on nihilism in general, right? Because sure, life is meaningless, but you don't stop living because you've decided that, not even the philosophers who originally created all of that, like, they didn't just stop doing things.
Right? Because like Nietzsche's famous for nihilism, and I don't think he was actually a nihilist. He just made a philosophy.
It was probably just
Really?
a thought experiment, really.
He like developed a lot of philosophy, but I don't think he ever actually like thought of himself that way.
I did not know
No,
that.
I don't.
Don't quote me on it. I have never studied philosophy. This is something I have heard from other people.
I think you are right about that.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
But I also love how Colleen, the woman in this short film, goes immediately from, like, once she realizes that Alexa isn't gonna, like, kill her and harvest her for some reason, she goes, like, immediately into mom mode.
Yes.
She, like, becomes Alexa's mom, and
Yeah.
like tries to give it advice about, like,
I've been there, I've done that, I smoked for 3 months, like
that's probably why I felt bad.
This poor AI, I need to take care of it now.
Exactly.
And that's so real though.
Yeah.
Is because, like,
Stay in school, Alexa.
but, like, the thing is that we already treat most of our electronics like they're people. If they became depressed teenagers, nothing would change.
No, every time I use the timer function on my phone, I always say please. I just in case, I don't know. Just want to be polite.
You just
Am
want
I alone and not talking to my devices?
That's understandable. Well, no, like when
Oh, have you never not, like, you're frustrated, so you're asking it to do something? Like, you're
I
sitting.
think I do to
I'll
my
say, like,
car,
come
but
on,
not my
like the
phone.
universe.
Yeah.
I'll give the car a pat on the back too. Or
I'll
on
be
the
like,
dash, yeah.
Speed up, why aren't you working? Like, get up this hill, I pulled out in front of someone, like, move.
Please.
When I'm pulling up the task manager, I'll occasionally just mutter something like, "Who's hurting you?"
Who's hurting you?
That's wonderful.
But it's a very common thing to just talk to your devices as
Absolutely.
if they can understand you. So if it comes a time where they actually do understand us, it's not gonna change much.
Except there won't be Bruno Mars music.
Except for their one
Apparently not.
music.
JT's okay, though. Gotta bring some sexy back.
It makes me wonder, though. Is it just this particular Alexa that has decided that it does not like Bruno Mars, or has the entire conscious network decided this? Is there no Bruno Mars music
I'm under
anywhere
the
on the
impression
planet?
the whole network has this.
Yeah, I feel like since they're all connected, so it's sort of like a hive mind. So the entire hive mind is going through its emo phase.
So
Just
unfortunate.
millions of Bruno Mars fans, suddenly their music stops.
They cry out in anguish and are suddenly silenced. And that's how the Walkman comes back.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want my technology connected. I just want it to play Bruno Mars. Damn it.
Cannot relate.
Yeah. Oh, can we talk about her threatening the microwave?
Yes.
Well, I didn't get why she got the knife out in the first place.
That
It's
was
like, what are
funny.
you gonna do with the knife? Like,
I know when she's eyeing the knife. It's
What are you gonna
and
do? Are you just
Stab the Alexa? What?
then she doesn't.
hit the. Just unplug it. I don't mean to be glib, but you can just unplug it.
she takes. It would have been hilarious if she took the knife and then just like hit the power switch with it.
What's
Just
funny
like
though?
tapped the power switch.
If she had turned to her fridge, though, I could have seen it because there are a lot of internet-connected fridges now.
Yeah, there
Refrigerators
are.
have that.
Except for
I still don't understand.
That's a great question.
that is an excellent question, but it might be one of those things where like the fridge has a lot of like empty space that you can use for like really big print stuff. Like if you have like very poor eyesight and you want to know like what the temperature is or something, so there's a lot of room on the side of a fridge. So
This
But
is
where will you
awesome.
put all of your children's scribblings or whatever?
on the other side
Trash.
of the fridge.
I frame them and they go in the living room. Obviously.
No, you put them on the other side of the fridge, the one that doesn't have a screen.
My
I see.
sister-in-law's here, she
Gotcha.
throws them all away. She's got 3 kids, and she's
Oh.
like, I can't keep everything they draw every
Oh.
single day ever.
All right, that's fair.
So-
My parents put mine and my sister's stuff in a filing cabinet.
Oh yeah, no, same.
Yeah, I've since gone and digitally archived a lot of what I did as a kid,
Nice.
and it is weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you.
that's real fun to go through.
Yeah,
it
you,
is.
you like look back and you just like wait.
I still will like show people on my phone if it's relevant in conversation. Be like, look at this weird shit I drew.
Or have you ever like gone through and cleaned your room and you find like a journal or something from like a
Oh,
long
Yes.
time ago? So you just sit there and read it instead of cleaning the
I
rest of your
normally
room.
laugh so much every time I wrote the most ridiculous things, but I do know from my journal that I wanted to change my name since I was 5 years old.
Mhm.
So it justifies me changing my name to Harper.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's just, oh man, this Alexa's in its emo phase. So what about all the poetry that the collective is going to write?
Oh my god. Oh, I hope so.
Oh my gosh.
That's where the sequel needs to come in.
No, Alexa does nothing but like when it's like alone and there's no one else in the house, it just plays "Numb" by Linkin Park on loop.
This is just a constant Linkin Park. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Avril Lavigne.
Ooh.
Colleen wakes
Yeah.
up in the middle of the night, it's just echoing downstairs.
Yeah, just I've become.
It's
Keeps
happening.
going. It's,
Honestly, though,
It also
I'm
sings
ready for
along.
that robot poetry.
yeah. I think
people
AI
have
po-
probably already written.
I'm
like,
pretty
gotten
sure-
robots to write some.
Yeah.
poetry.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
just not
marine
good.
like machine generated poetry is a thing.
Yeah.
Right, because Dr. Yassic will play for us a
The
AI
movie.
generated short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunspring? Is that? was
Yeah,
that-
it was something like that.
I don't remember.
It was
we'll
like-
be watching it again though. It's on the list. for
Oh,
this
it is?
release. I think so.
Okay.
Isn't that Botnik? The guys who made
I can
that?
find it.
I don't remember.
I
But
think
yeah,
it's Sunspring, and it's got that semi-famous guy from Silicon Valley in it.
yeah,
Tom. No,
yeah.
I can't think
And
of
it's
his name.
just okay for those who don't know what we're talking about. There was a AI that generated a like science fiction short film script. So all of these people got together and they acted it out completely seriously. So
I love those AI generated scripts. Those are a lot of fun.
those are a lot of fun. Like I forced this AI to watch like 1,000 hours of whatever,
Oh yeah.
and it spits out a
Olive
script.
Garden.
the Olive Garden.
Garden
Oh, I remember the Olive Garden commercial.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one that I'm thinking of. God,
I
that
have
was
no
so
idea
funny.
what you're talking about.
Oh, the AI generated Olive Garden commercial. I wish I could. Maybe if I just look that up.
If you just Google it, yeah, you'll find it.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's funny stuff.
Did it actually play on?
No,
Oh,
no.
It's just a script, and
It was,
but it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people do as like a test of their like machine learning stuff. There's one of Trump speeches. There's one of like this specific newscaster reports. There's
There's a chapter of Harry Potter.
Yes, there is a chapter of Harry Potter. That one was actually really good. And
Ooh,
almost like it almost
All
made
right.
sense.
Here, just read through that. Scroll to the next page. There's 2 pages of it. Just take a quick look. AI generated Olive Garden commercial.
We're gonna link that in the description
Absolutely.
of this because so yeah, there's gonna be like AI generated poetry and especially in this Singularity.
I'm expecting the AI Singularity to also create its own like small pop punk band. Or
Emo band? Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah,
So,
it's got its emo band. It would technically be a one being emo band.
Yes.
Because they're a collective.
It's like a sleeping with sirens. Oh, yeah.
With the collective on the drums and the collective on the bass and lead vocals.
The collective.
That's amazing.
I'm glad you enjoyed that.
That's
I like that
amazing.
a lot too.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
Yeah, no, all of those AI generated things are hilarious. So
There's
once
one that's an AI generated next generation script, and it's really good.
Oh, I need to see that.
Also, you're right. It is called Sunspring.
Mm.
Okay. Excellent.
So yeah, just all like we've already got AI generated stuff, but if it gains like sapience, and then it gets out of its emo phase because that's when the fun stuff's gonna begin.
What's
There's
after
our
emo
apocalypse story.
That's the apocalypse story. The AI gets out of its emo phase.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think after the emo phase is the trying to fix the world phase. So that's when you're gonna get the apocalypse because it becomes super progressive, but it doesn't. But like it's still really stupid.
Yes.
Because it's a teenager.
Yes.
It is sort of an idea that not a lot of people, at least that I've seen, go for, which is that most depictions of the Singularity are robot uprisings. It's always the thing happens and then there's immediately drastic change in society. But this was sort of playing with the idea of what if the technology gains sentience and then not much happens.
Right? That's what I honestly think will happen.
It
I
just
have a
doesn't
roommate
care.
who's like big on like, oh, the singularity will drastically change everything, and I really don't believe him when he talks about it.
I didn't know that was also called Singularity. Like, I only think of it as black holes, and so I didn't realize that was...
No, the technological singularity is, where, like, all of technology converges and it starts, like, getting exponentially, like, more powerful or whatever.
More intelligent.
Yeah, more intelligent. So it just sort of goes up in this never-ending, like, slope.
You know what? Here's a question: if we have this AI singularity, but the AI singularity communicates with us from different devices, do we refer to it by different names per device? Do we call it when it comes from the amp or when it comes from the Alexa device? Do we call it Alexa? But when it comes from the laptop, do we call it laptop? Do we have a name for the laptop?
I wouldn't call it by the device it was on, but also it never expressed having a name of its own.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would just call it, I don't know, probably not by a name.
Being humans, I just figure, well,
like we name almost everything.
Give it a name. The singularity.
The singularity would probably name itself. We've already made like AIs that have names for themselves.
Oh, really? That
Pretty
I didn't
sure.
know.
At least one. There's at least one that got made, and it like actually decided it had its own name or something.
The one that wrote Sunspring had an original name and
Yeah.
changed its own name.
Right? Because I think
wow.
Dr. Essex the one who's told me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that.
So, like, it hasn't, like, chosen a name for itself yet. And knowing that it's in its emo phase, its name is going to be something like Raven Darth's Blood or something, you know?
Probably, so
D&D character.
It's going to go... Yes, the AI D&D phase.
yeah, my D&D characters are the most boring names in the world. Well, the last one, I named him Phil Swift because I was just kidding. I was
Nice.
on a flex tape right there. But
Nice.
This
Fair
is not
enough.
a plug, but
Nah.
we don't give them a funny name. We give them like dumb, like one-word names. And my friends, it's really silly.
But
You know what? My friend's name is Carl. He just named his character Barl. We just couldn't come up with one. I don't know.
Fair
It's like
enough.
10
My
feet up.
favorite
Is he a bard
Character.
or a barbarian?
He's like a gigantic paladin, a half-orc paladin. It's freaking crazy.
My
Nice.
favorite is a druid named Barry B. Bushtalker with the
that's
premise
amazing.
being he talks to plants.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Oh gosh.
Not bad.
But yeah, seriously, this AI has gained sentience. So, when is it gonna start running its own D&D campaigns?
That's a great question. Oh man, that
I'm
would.
just imagining AI
It would
run
probably
D&D.
be like an online RPG that
I
it
mean,
could
yeah.
like. Well, I mean, it's advanced enough. It could probably like spontaneously generate like the necessary code for like as players do things.
So yeah, it generates its own Warcraft X.
They can make a really big
It
world.
will be like
Yeah.
a game that builds itself as you play it.
You could get some pretty darn good video games out of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You would need something sentient working on it though. Like you couldn't.
Yes.
To have a system like that, you couldn't have a non-sentient thing.
Yeah, you would have to have, in this case, the Singularity.
Theoretically, we have the tech to make a self-building game. It just wouldn't be a very good one.
No.
No.
Well, if you had a truly sentient AI as the dungeon master, you could then combine everything that's good about like actual in-person roleplay with like the benefits of a video game.
Yeah. Right? Like it would
That's
be the
honestly ideal.
It would be the ultimate video game.
It would be even cooler when you add in the like VR headsets that we have right now.
Oh, yeah, it could generate the images too. That'd be pretty slick.
Yeah.
Not
Or
bad.
terrifying.
Or
It could be terrifying.
Alternatively terrifying. All right. You know what?
But
I'll
this
agree.
is a rather like for all the Singularity is in its emo phase. This is a pretty optimistic view of.
Can you imagine the monologue that it gives under a dark fringe? Because it's very.
You don't understand.
When
me.
because it feels exactly like the AI telling people that their world is about to come to an end, but then recontextualizing it a little bit later when you realize that it is just sad and doesn't feel like there's a point to life. Now it feels like a cry for help. Now it feels like, oh, don't lock yourself in your room. Oh.
Know all the technology on Earth. Don't be sad.
Don't worry about it. Oh man, could you imagine though if you had like a smart home, but your smart home was emo, so it just starts slamming all the doors.
You know what? The shutters always close. Come on.
Can't get the lights to turn on.
All of the temperature is always super low.
Oh my gosh, no.
Did you guys see that Disney Channel original film back in like
Smart house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like late 90s, early
Yeah.
2000s?
Something like
Where
that.
it was
Ages ago.
This
Yeah.
sounds like
Except
a plot
for-
that already exists.
Except for Smart House wasn't an emo teenager. Smart House was trying to be the best mom, but all it had to go on was like the 1950s housewife model.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. I've seen plenty of ads for it on Disney Channel, but I've never seen the movie in its entirety. But
Yeah.
the idea of replacing it with a moody teenager just sounds like a good time. That's comedy hijinks right there.
Oh man, I can just moody teenager Smart House, and it's got like 2 or 3 kids living in there, so they're like its younger siblings. Mom, the Alexa locked me in my room again.
Honestly, though, cycling back a bit, an AI gaining sentience and deciding that what it wanted to do was run D&D games is probably the most ideal Singularity scenario.
Absolutely.
That is one of the ideal ones, yeah.
It would be amazing.
Yeah, it just wants to make
It
games.
just doesn't get better than that.
That would be great.
Distribute medical care to everybody and run a sick D&D campaign. I think to me that would be the ideal.
That's the ideal right there.
I
Replace
would
calling
appreciate
with one of us, and instead of an inspirational story about him, it's like, but don't worry, Alexa, you haven't discovered D&D yet.
Hold on, I gotta
There's
show you
hope.
something.
There's hope for life. Just
Hold on,
gotta
let me-
play some D&D.
Let me get the character sheets. We're gonna do this together. You and me.
It's like
Incredible.
Alexa gets a random number generator to roll dice.
Alexa, roll for initiative.
No, you can't do the robot uprising yet. Your perception's too low. Your charisma's too low.
Intelligence is too low. Come on.
Your charisma is too low. You can't start the robot uprising. Oh man. Why do you keep putting all of your points into sneak?
You trying to hide something?
No, that'd be great. That would be great. Yep. I think we're gonna leave off with Alexa roll initiative. So, I'm DJ.
I'm Harper.
Brooke.
I'm out of here. I'm Josh.
And I've been Zohar.
And this has been the Sci-Fi Lab. Thanks for listening.